few words about Gothic sculpture. So in the previous post, I've told about the distinctive features of Gothic cathedrals, and now I'd like to mention some aspects regarding Gothic sculpture. In general, Gothic sculpture is characterized by a high degree of naturalism in comparison with Romanesque sculpture, and in particular by thin drapery. Drapery patterns helped to define the position of the body, for example, and also the iconographic schemes in Gothic sculpture are more comprehensive, more orderly, and therefore some parallels can be drawn with the rigor of scholasticistic argument and its logical order. And so if on a Romanesque portal one can see diverse scenes from different sources and not always related to the central theme, on a Gothic one the order is more strict and the thematic and compositional unity is achieved. And stage columns are integrated into a portal, so rigorous organization of the portal and facade is another important feature of Gothic style, and sculptures applied to archivolts and also gem figures in some way subordinate to the tympanum. They all illustrate the structural logic of Gothic sculptural programs. And the narrative details of Gothic sculpture also differ from the Romanesque one. The dramatic and spiritual elements of Romanesque sculpture is reduced, and while Romanesque sculpture could in some sense intimidate, so a viewer would contemplate the mysterious ways of gods with fear, the Gothic sculpture often encouraged the viewer to study and to follow what Christianity and what the Church offered and taught. And the naturalistic trend in Gothic sculpture is, in some sense, can be seen as a response to the dramatic and demoniacal aspects of Romanesque art. And artisans wanted to breathe life into the three-dimensional figures to give them an expression, and there is a feeling of lightness, of weightlessness, often of calmness in these sculptures. And from Gothic sculptures and from Gothic art, faithful but mostly illiterate lay people could derive messages, religious messages. So the function of art in the spread of the word of God, as a function which was performed in particular in pre-Romanesque and Romanesque art, as I've told in the previous post, this function continued to be performed in the Gothic period as well. And in addition, it should be mentioned that Virgin Mary, whose figure was given a central role, for example, in the sculptural program of Shafter Cathedral, Virgin Mary maintains this position for the Gothic period. And of course, there were different regional schools and styles of Gothic sculpture, and there were changes in Gothic sculpture throughout the Gothic period. And for a while, Shafter Cathedral remained and served as a model, particularly its west facade. And I'll talk about it in the next post. Check the sources listed in the comments and on the website.